Sorry.
You know what episode this is?
10.
10.
Double digits.
Yes.
And when you count down and clap.
Sure. Do we do it from 5 or from 3?
3.
3, 2, 1.
We still can't clap together.
Oh, well. Welcome to the Backseat podcast.
Episode. I almost said 3. 10.
10. I'm so excited.
Team 10. It's every day, bro, with that Disney Channel flow. 5 mil on YouTube's in 6 months. Never done before. And I'm not going to sing the rest because Jake Paul's going to sue me. He will sue.
He will sue. Yeah.
He will sue just for a mention.
Really?
Yeah.
You can't sue just for a mention. Not if it's a joke or something.
Well, I don't know. I actually don't know.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. I just know, like, I'm probably going to get sued by someone.
Well, which one is a fighter? Logan?
Jake.
Logan Paul's the fighter?
Jake.
Jake?
Yeah, the younger one.
He's a good fighter. He's a really good fighter.
Yeah. There's not much I can say about Jake. I knew Jake Paul back when he was on Vine. And I had a huge crush on that dude. I don't like blonde guys like that. Sorry to all my blondes out there. I was blonde at one point. But the thing is, it's like, I don't like blonde guys like that, but I was into that dude.
Wow.
He was at college, and he would post on Vine with his brother.
Vine is crazy. Vine
I was like
is crazy.
12, and I was like,
dude,
he's going places.
I didn't know about the Paul brothers until the boxing started. Like but I wasn't on YouTube. Like I never got on YouTube like that.
Oh, I was chronically online.
Okay. Yeah, no, I wasn't on YouTube.
Speaking of chronically online, I'm also 3,000 years late. Did you hear about what happened with Theo Von?
Yes.
That video I showed you about him like choking out a fan?
Yeah, I heard that guy's I heard his side of the story. And like I don't know cuz so his side of the story is that it was his birthday. He was doing a gig at that club or bar, and he went up to Theo, and I guess he wanted Theo to pop some balloons for his birthday. And I guess whatever misunderstanding happened, Theo choked him out. Because in the video, he at first said no, or something to the effect of no or leave me alone. And then the guy went back to Theo, and Theo grabbed him by the neck and then pushed him off.
That's crazy. I don't know. I'm not sure what happened, but like,
yeah,
that would really hurt my feelings if I went up to someone I was like a big fan of and they were just like,
well, are you bothering them? Because
I don't think like bothering someone gives you a right to like physically assault them. Oh, hey girl.
I don't know, because like in my head, I'm like, I'm not gonna defend Theo outright. I'm just like looking at it from his angle. How many people come up to you? How many people say nasty or hurtful things to you? How many times are you always on guard with yourself? And I don't know, like, you know, if I already said, hey dude, no, or like I don't know what was said in that little interaction, but if I said no, or hey, stop bothering me, or walk away, and you come back up to me, I'm assuming something's happening. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna go as far as choking someone out and then pushing them away, but I'm pushing them away. Like I'm my hands are coming out, and I'm like, hey bro, like stop. Like, cause like think about if it was like one of my family members.
What's wrong with your family members?
They're all like crazy. So if it was one of them, dude, they just like swing at the first time.
If they were Theo.
Yeah.
I thought you meant if they were going up to me. I was like, I'd be like, hey.
No. If they were Theo, they would swing. Like
yeah,
that's
but
what I'm like.
I don't think that's right though.
I don't think it's
that's
right.
Like physical assault. I think that's
well,
like against the law.
No. If you're coming up to me and you're getting in my face after I've told you not to, I actually have like the right to push you or to like yeah.
Because you're initiating contact at that point. Because up until this point, it's like it's all verbal altercations. Here, you can Google it.
Let me Google that because I want to.
It's all like up until this point, it's all verbal. But when you make the decision to make it physical, it's like you then become the aggressor. So it's physical assault. You have the right to call security, and you have the right to leave. but you don't have the right in any circumstances to initiate like contact with someone else in an aggressive way with the intent to hurt them or intimidate them.
No. I'm asking ChatGPT. So that's what I get.
About
like,
the law?
Yeah.
And make sure it's Texas because I was in Texas.
That was in.
It was in Tennessee, wasn't
Nashville.
it? Yeah, it was in Nashville. Let's see what it says. While we're asking ChatGPT, I'm going to give a brief intermission to explain the outfit. I was literally matching Christian, and I was laying down, chilling, as one does before they film a podcast, and then Christian comes up to me and goes, "Yo, taste my coffee." Well, I went to grab his coffee, but I guess, like, I forgot how hands work, and I didn't grab his coffee. I just, like, went to grab his coffee, and I spilled it all over me. So then I had to change. And I feel like now my outfit is giving, I chimed in with the haven't you people ever heard of? And I'm kind of here for it, When you agree? Or
Sorry.
when I was a young boy, my father took me into the city.
Okay. So the legal
Intermission over.
So the legal right. Verbal confrontation is not justification for physical assault, but if they threaten you, try to hit you, or physically touch you, that can be self-defense. In the video, he does grab Theo in the shoulder.
Doesn't he like grab him on the shoulder?
Yeah, he grabs him. He taps him on the shoulder.
He was like,
so
yeah.
Legally, you have the stand your ground law, but if they were to sue, it was a duty to retreat that they can sue Theo on. Like, he should have retreated instead of choking him out first.
Well, yeah, I think the only way to like have stand your ground law is if you have to prove that there's no way of escape. Because we have a stand your ground law in Louisiana too. And one of my old coworkers is like married to a cop.
Okay.
And they were like, "Yo, like, a lot of people think that they can just get in an argument and like pull out a gun and like threaten someone, but in all actuality, like, legally, if you're gonna pull out that gun, you better be ready to shoot someone, and you better be ready to shoot to kill.
Yeah.
Ooh, you better be ready to pew pew to unalive.
It's already happened, Catherine.
Yeah, I tried. Because apparently, if you take out your weapon, but you're not going for it, then you had time to run away and you chose not to. So then it's intimidation with a deadly weapon.
Gotcha.
And then you end up being wrong.
So in the state of Tennessee, if someone is just in your face or making unwanted contact, using your hands to push them away is usually considered reasonable, non-deadly force. So he acted according to the law. But
he like grabbed his throat and he was like 3 days like post-op or something.
Now, what?
He was like 3 weeks post-op because so he's a singer. So like the guy that went up to him was a singer and he had throat surgery and he had like just gone back to work.
But that's not on Theo. Like he doesn't know him.
Well, yeah, Theo doesn't know that, but it's like
Theo was also
it could have been a lot worse.
Theo was also with a woman. So that's why I'm like, I'm putting all of it in.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
No.
That's not how English works.
They did not hear it here first.
You heard it here first. Theo was with a woman.
So, but I mean, there's a woman in the video. So I'm assuming he's there with that woman. I'm not blaming him. He can push whoever he wants if there's unwanted contact.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the video makes him look pretty bad. But at the same time, I don't know what that guy said to him. And I think it's real convenient to come out with your side first and explain it.
Yeah.
Because I think, like, you kind of paint the narrative to whatever, like, situation you want it to be.
He also probably feels embarrassed.
Well, I would be embarrassed.
Yeah. Well, he also posted the video. Like, I don't know.
He didn't post the video. Someone else did.
Someone
he
else
reacted
posted
to
video.
it.
Okay. Well, murky situation. It's murky.
I just thought that was crazy. I didn't think Theo had it in him like that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. He's from the South. I mean, everyone shakes different.
That's true. R.I.P. Theo Vaughn. He's going through it right now.
He's not going through anything.
He had to be going through something to put his hands on that dude. Healthy people don't just resort to violence like that.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely, they do. Absolutely. If someone's coming up to you and they're giving you unwanted physical, physical touch, bro. You're like no, but what would you
But
do?
you wanted that.
No, but what would you do if someone comes up to you in the random store and they just grab you by the shoulder?
I think I would shove them off of me. I wouldn't like go for their jugular like that.
Okay, but imagine the person's like taller than you, or it's a man.
Honestly, I'd probably freeze.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. There's just different reactions that everyone has. I don't know. Everyone has different reactions. But yeah, no, I mean, we can stop talking about Theo Von.
Anyways, Theo's funny, man.
I like
It's
Theo.
unfortunate he's in the news right now because that's a funny guy.
Are people taking it serious?
I don't know. It just popped up on my For You page, and I was like, "Whoa, am I late to something?"
Yeah, I feel that. No, I like Theo Von.
But I feel like a lot of people just hate him anyways. So it's kind of hard to see, like, is it because of this? Is it because of the fact that he's polarizing? Is it because of his political affiliation? Like, there's a lot of reasons to hate Theo. But at the end of the day, he's funny. He's a funny dude.
He also seems chill. I mean, I don't know Theo. He's probably a good guy. I don't know.
I'm
him.
sure he is. Look, I ain't hating on him.
He's probably a good guy.
I'm just saying some people do.
Yeah, but some people, it's a very interesting group of people that can judge something off of a video.
Yeah. It's usually people that don't look inwardly on themselves.
It's usually people who don't have a life. That sounds mean, but I'm like, if you're looking at this video, that's like the only side. Like, life
You're
is.
going to make them mad at us now.
They can be mad at us.
They're not watching. I wouldn't insult our viewers that way.
Viewer.
Yeah. Hey, Mom.
But I mean, what kind of person only looks at life through one point of view? Someone who doesn't have perspective for other points of view.
Someone that has room to grow.
Yeah, I mean that's a glass half full mentality, but the glass half empty mentality is like if I were to take an out of context moment in your life, wouldn't you try to give me your perspective? If I'm only seeing the other
absolutely.
So right, so like I can't judge a video and be like, wow, I can't believe he choked him out like that. It just doesn't make sense for me to judge that because I'll have to be like, listen, I don't know what the guy told him. I don't know this guy. I don't know what's going on. Also, I don't know what's happening at a bar. I mean, everything happens. You know, anything can happen there. So that's why I'm like, I don't know what's going on. The music was loud. There's just too many perspectives that I can't judge a video on. But there's people who probably look at the videos like, oh, he's probably so evil because he's this and that in MAGA. And it's just like, I don't know. You can not like ravioli.
Anyways, love you, Theo. I think. I don't know enough about you to hate you, so love you.
This podcast is funny.
Oh, I'll be watching it, not gonna lie.
This podcast is pretty funny.
Anyways, let's jump into some of my topics. I just want to bring that up because I was thinking about it. I guess you can decide off these.
I'm such an awful texter.
Wow, okay, I guess that's the one we're going with.
Cool.
I would like to formally apologize. I like to formally and publicly apologize to anyone that has texted me, DM'd me, Snapchatted me, or hit me up on any form other than a carrier pigeon. Not even the mail, because I don't even check the mail. I am sorry. I don't be reading my text. I see a text message come through and I don't read it. I just straight up don't read it. And then I'll be like, oh, I'll read that later. But then later is like 2 weeks later.
Later never comes.
Well, it comes, but it comes 2 weeks later. And then everyone's mad at me all the time because they're like, dude, do you hate me? Do you have a problem? And I'm like, I don't have a problem. I have a problem, but not with you. It's the inner me. It's the part of me that is too lazy to read and respond to text messages. You want to catch me, call me. But even then, if I'm in the middle of something, I'm not going to answer you.
I feel like I'm a good texter.
No, you're not. You're not worse than me because you will respond.
I respond to people pretty
First
quickly.
of all, you text in parables.
I do, yes.
You don't even text in complete sentences or complete thoughts.
I text my thoughts.
No.
My thoughts aren't complete.
Fragments of thoughts.
No, those are my thoughts. My thoughts aren't complete.
So all of your texts are like the Bible, up for interpretation. And then second of all, with some absolute truth, like you love me. And then second of all, was that too hot of a take? You gave me a look.
No, I there's some people that would take that and like go insane.
But like,
I thought about them.
is that the majority? Did I say something crazy? Give me
No.
time to apologize.
No, you didn't say something crazy.
Did I say something blasphemous?
No, you didn't say anything blasphemous. Some people are too married to their perception of the Bible, so they'll never be able to be like, no, there's multiple interpretations, and you're like, and then it becomes semantic because they're like, oh, it's context, and then it goes from context to, oh no, it's the translation. So it's like, some people are just fidgety. That's why I'm like, I just thought
I'm like, check me now so I can apologize.
I was
while
just
we're
thinking
still
about
here.
I was just thinking about 2 or 3 people that if they were here right now, they'd like scream.
Well,
You'd be like, ah!
2 or 3 people that if they were here right now, they'd be like, turn her mic off. She's a woman. So, okay.
2 out of those 3 people probably would say that.
Yeah, and then turn around and hit on me. I don't care. Like,
Ooh.
anyways, I would like to formally apologize. I believe in the Bible. The Bible is the full truth and the word of God. First of all, I just think that some people read it through one lens and some people read it through another lens. You're either reading it through a lens of narcissism and you're trying to back your own cause that may not be biblical, or you're reading it from the correct lens of, let's be objective about this and see what it actually means by this.
Bars.
That's what I meant by interpretation.
Bars.
Anyways, I forgot. Oh, we were talking about how you were texting. Wow. Episode 10, the one that gets us canceled for real, and it's me.
We're not going to get canceled for that. We're not going to get canceled for that.
Look, people have done way worse. It got canceled later in life. Anyway, sorry. I'm unhinged today. I have a lot to talk about. What was I saying? Oh, how you text. No, you're equally as bad as me, just in a different way.
Yeah, I feel like that's our problems mostly as a married couple.
Yeah.
I'm equally as bad as you.
We're similar in the worst ways, but opposite ends of the spectrum.
No, that's very true. That's so true. I overcook the food, you undercook it.
I don't undercook it.
You undercook chicken?
I ain't ever.
No, that's me.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
I have a huge irrational fear of undercooking chicken, and I always end up undercooking it, and I have to like just basically burn it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Most of the time, I'll serve up some dry chicken before I serve up some raw chicken. There was one occasion I served up some raw chicken, and it was after I ate it.
Oh no, are you serious?
Yeah, remember the pesto chicken I made? The second time.
Dude,
First time I made
crazy.
it was incredible. I don't know what I did different, but the second time, raw. I ate it. I finished it.
It's raw.
And that's not my first time eating raw chicken. My first time eating raw chicken was going out to eat at a popular Mediterranean spot. And I'm not going to dox them because I do still be going there. They are delicious. But they gave me some raw chicken one time. And I didn't realize it till I was halfway through my my meal. I had already ingested half the meal full of raw chicken. And then I looked down and was like, oh, this is pink and cold. Ooh. Oh, my God. But it's a testament to how good their food is. I didn't even realize it was raw. Didn't get sick. Praise God. God has favorites and life isn't fair. I don't know what to tell you. And second of all, that's not true.
God has favorites.
God does not have favorites.
Fine. We'll have a theological podcast today.
God does not have favorites. We're all his favorites. That's the joke. But life is not fair.
Well, you know, there's a couple angles you can look at that with the Bible.
I wasn't born a Nepo baby, so you know what? I'm lower on that list than you think. Anyways, the meal was great, but it was raw and I didn't get sick. And then I didn't get sick off that other one either, so.
Okay.
Maybe salmonella is just not real.
Salmonella?
Salmon and Ella.
Salmonella.
Both of them together.
It's one word.
I know what salmonella is.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay, good for you. Just making sure.
I took a biology class.
I know the word.
Messed up. I don't know how to fix it though. Anyways.
Okay.
You gonna fix this?
You gonna fix this?
There you go. Sorry, I went to Louisiana yesterday. Sorry to all of my friends in Louisiana that I did not tell I was there. I was there for less than 24 hours, so that's why. But I went there yesterday and it got me all twanged up.
Yeah, we got some Buddha in at Market Basket.
I'm so excited to eat that tonight.
I finished mine. I bought this pepper jack Buddha.
Was it good?
Dude,
I wanted to try it.
I finished it too quick. I was like, yeah, but by the time I finished, it was amazing. No, it
I'm
was
really
good.
excited for it. I think I'm gonna pop it in the oven for a little bit. Eat that thing up tonight.
Oh yeah, no, I had a good time in Louisiana. I always loved going to Louisiana. It was such
It's
a good time.
seeing the fam. We were there for like 10 hours and came back.
Yeah, no, it was a good time. It was good seeing everybody. I like going on a road trip in the Tesla.
Oh yeah,
It's the best thing ever.
she drives itself. You just gotta watch the road.
You gotta pay like an arm and a leg for it, but yeah, it's pretty fun.
Nah, not really.
Feels like it.
Buy a Mercedes, and then we'll talk.
Mercedes can't drive themselves.
Yeah, but they still cost more than a Tesla.
They do, but they're beautiful cars.
Hey, and they're well made too.
Yeah. No, the Germans, they don't get a lot of right, like most of their history, but you know they make good cars.
And their battles with the sun.
And their battles with the sun.
They be getting burnt.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm like, aren't you German?
No.
You're French, right?
I'm not German at all, thank you. Sorry, I love the Germans. No, I'm not German.
Okay,
I'm French and Spanish.
French
so
and
watch your
Spanish.
mouth.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
in like European, like English, that's the word.
English.
I'm probably mostly English, but I got a lot of French in me too.
Okay, that's pretty fun. Yeah,
And Spanish.
Oh,
Got a lot of Spanish there. I got just as much Spanish as I am French, but I'm more French presenting.
gotcha.
So I like to think there's more of that in there, but it's all the French and Spanish. They're all one half, and then the rest is English.
Do you ever feel like that colonizer heart of yours is just like beamed out when you think of France and Spain?
I almost made the worst joke, and then I had to remind myself that this is going on the internet. So I will say no comment.
No, I the reason I say that is because I'm too scared to do a DNA in me. What is it, 23andMe?
23andMe? Oh, because you don't want them storing your data?
I don't want them storing my blood.
Well, here's what they're going to do. They're going to store your stem cells and sell them back to you when you're old to reverse your aging.
Right, so I don't want to do that. But so...
You know...
so anyway,
should.
I was looking at ChatGPT and I was like, can you like just do like through my last names and see what the like etymology of it is? And I found out that I may have some Creole in me. I may be around there because my last name is both Nicaraguan and Salvadorian. And so I was like, oh, okay. You know, I'm a little diverse.
Maybe we're related after all.
Yeah, I really wanted to be something like cooler, like maybe like Asian or like a Pacific Islander. But I was like, okay, you know, I'll be.
Hey, Creole is cool. It's cool to be Creole.
It's cool to be Creole.
I'm sorry, I started thinking about stem cell research when you were talking. I was really trying to follow. It's because I started thinking about the fact that they're going to sell our stem cells back to us. So here's the thing.
Do we know if that's true?
Yeah. It's like it's a conspiracy, but it's a really probable one. Also, why did their whole board quit? I don't know. They're doing some shady stuff. But no, moral of this, if you're having kids right now and their teeth are coming out, you need to save them things. You need to put those baby teeth in a stem bank somewhere, because those stem cells, first of all, can save their life if they get into a major accident. And second of all, whenever stem cell research progresses enough, it can actually reverse aging.
Okay. What?
And as I was thinking about that, I was like, dang, dude, like I was born in early 2000s. So like we didn't know anything about stem cell research. I ain't got no baby teeth anywhere. I have 2 in my mouth right now.
There you go.
Do you think that counts? Or do you think their stem cells age with me because I'm still growing and the tissue that's attached to them is aging? Therefore, the teeth are aging.
You know who
so
can
they're
answer that
aged.
question?
They're aged cells.
ChatGPT could answer that question.
I don't want. I feel like I fear that. First of all, I only have the free version. I don't want to waste all my searches. I'd be talking to it too much. And then second of all, I feel like I'm already on a watch list. So I got to be real careful. I got to be real careful with ChatGPT these days, because I'd be asking it some crazy stuff. And I have to remind myself that it's not like Apple. It's not all encrypted, that the government has access. Not crazy in a bad way. I'm not crazy. Look, I'm not up to anything, guys. But I just...
Allegedly.
No. I'm not up... This is not alleged. I'm not up to anything. I don't have anything. I don't do anything. I be vibing. And I am vibing. But sometimes I'll be thinking, and I'll be thinking out loud to ChatGPT, and I'll be thinking, am I on a watch list? Should I be asking that? I fear I have already asked too much. So no, I will not be asking ChatGPT that.
Well, there you go. No questions to ChatGPT on that. I don't know. So I think for me, I'm more on the side of like, I don't know if I want a private company having my DNA. I think that in itself is like, I don't know if I like that idea. But then again, the hospitals have my DNA. So
And
I'm
they're
like,
private.
they're private for now.
The government has my DNA.
Doesn't the government have our DNAs?
No, it's only if you give it to them.
Okay.
Wait, this is a stupid question. I don't think they have my DNA, actually. They have my fingerprints. It's not the same thing.
Yo, I saw this video of these
Right?
cops.
That's something to Google.
I don't know.
Give me a second.
I see it in TV shows.
If your fingerprints are DNA, they definitely have my DNA. But if they don't, if it's not, then they might not.
I see it in TV shows. Sometimes they do.
Fingerprints are not DNA.
Does the government
Wait.
have our fingerprints though? That's the question.
No, they have mine because I gave it to them. They don't have yours. Apple has yours, though.
Wait, how did I not give it to them? When did you give your?
Remember whenever we had to go to Baton Rouge
Yeah.
to the police office?
Okay.
I gave them my fingerprint. I had fingerprints done. Okay, backstory, because now I sound like a criminal. Okay, for everyone who don't know English, for anyone who does not know how our legal system goes, if you have not committed a crime or done anything in the medical field or anything in a government system that requires you to give the government your fingerprints, they currently do not have them. Because how the heck are they supposed to collect all these people's fingerprints if people are born every day? They don't have them. However, if you want to be a pharmacy technician, if you want to do anything in pharmacy that requires going to the board of pharmacy, you have to give them your fingerprints. Why? Because you deal with Class
A.
You deal with controlled substances that, if stolen, are a serious crime, or administered incorrectly are a serious crime, and they need to have access to your fingerprints to prosecute you quicker.
Okay.
So that's a requirement, and that is why I had to go to Baton Rouge, which was the capital of Louisiana, and give the police officers my fingerprints. And that's why the government has my fingerprints.
Well, there you go.
Disney had my fingerprints a long time ago.
Personally, for me, I don't have my fingerprints with anybody.
No, you have to go and get them taken. Or if you get arrested, they take your fingerprints.
Oh, okay.
So if you commit a crime, if you do something like legal, like within the legal field, they take your fingerprints.
Yeah.
A lot of random stuff. You go to Disney World, they take your fingerprints.
Wait,
but
what?
they don't give it to the police. They just keep it for them.
That in itself is creepy. But also,
Apple has your fingerprints, though.
Also, a change of subject. I saw this video of these cops getting tasering themselves, like so they can feel it. I kind of want to do it.
You know, you could just like show up and ask them to, and they will.
Like, really?
You sign a waiver, but yeah.
Dude, I kind of want to try it out.
I think you actually have to pay for it, because those guns, like every time they like fire it, it like costs money, because it's like.
Okay.
I think you have to pay for it. Well, you know what? Just like make a cop mad enough, and they'll tase you. Ever tell you about that one time your mom gave me a taser for my birthday, and then one of my friends used it on their ankle?
Which friend?
Amy.
Oh, okay, cool. Shout out Amy.
Shout out my girl Amy.
Dude,
she tased her ankle in our hotel room, and I was like,
she's
girl,
the
what?
best. I love her.
I miss her, man. She's so funny.
That's crazy. I want to feel what a taser. I want to feel
just
like
use
the
my
pain.
taser.
Nah, but I kind of want to feel the voltage of whatever the cops use, because I want to get used to it.
I'm not gonna lie. I never want to feel that.
You never just want to like. I feel
no,
like
so as a kid,
I'll do that over a roller coaster. By the way,
I'm not gonna lie to you. As a kid, my grandma's my grandma's light switch growing up. If your feet were wet or if your hands were wet and you like went to turn it off, there's something in like the wiring of it. It shocks you. So like I've been shocked before, and it hurts. Like it doesn't feel good at all. It's like an undescribable feeling.
Yeah.
It just feels wrong. And so I can only imagine a taser is probably like 5 times that amount of voltage, because it wasn't enough to like knock you out, but it was enough for you to go, oh my God.
No, see,
So I got shocked a lot as a kid.
when I was like 8 or 7 years old, I saw like the plugins and I was like, you know what would fit in there?
Did you put a fork in the plugins?
Absolutely, I did. No,
How
it was a
did you
butter
live?
knife. It was a butter
How
knife.
did you live?
I passed out. Like I literally was like, and I couldn't like stop holding it. So like,
Yeah, because that's your body's reaction.
yeah. And so I guess I fell down and I brought the thing with me, and I was in my grandma's house too. Funny enough, and I just remember waking up and I was like, "Well, what happened? That was crazy."
No, my parents told me when I was growing up that if I stuck anything that was not a plug in those holes in the wall, that the house would catch on fire and we would all die.
That's an okay lie. I can live with that.
I'm not gonna lie.
I can live with that.
And they were like, and it'll hurt. Like it'll hurt you, and then you'll die, and then you'll catch the house on fire, and then we'll all die.
And then we'll all die.
And I was like,
How old were you when you realized that the stove was hot?
oh, I was pretty young. I was probably like 4. I remember, cause my grandma was baking cookies, and she took cookies out the oven and put it on the stove. She said, "Don't touch this stove. It's like really, really hot. Don't touch the pan. It's really, really hot." And then she turned around, and I thought to myself, how hot is it? And so well, okay, so backstory to that, I got burned really bad as a kid because I grabbed an iron. I actually don't remember grabbing the iron. I just remember healing from that incident. Funny enough, because it burnt my hand like really bad.
Okay.
And so my grandma referenced that. She's like, remember that time you grabbed the iron? Like, that's what's going to happen if you touch the stove. And so I remember thinking, like, yeah, that was really hot, but I'm not grabbing it.
Yeah.
And so I, like, went up to, she had her back turned. I went, and I was like, oh, yeah, that is really hot. So it wasn't, like, a bad, like, I burnt myself really bad, but I did get a little blister and everything.
I had a moment like that when I was 7 or 8 years old. We flew to Nicaragua. And
Oh, you were older.
No, I was 7 or 8 years old.
8 is old.
So anyway, so I was 7 or 8 years old, and then we flew to Nicaragua, and my uncle was on his motorcycle, and my leg was too close to the and I felt the
to,
whole
like, the exhaust?
yeah, and I felt all the heat on my, like, I still have a scar right here because my skin bubbled up, and so I was like, and we're in Nicaragua.
Stop it.
We're in Nicaragua, so the closest hospital is an hour away. And so they're like, here, get this fruit. They just threw fruit on my leg. And I was,
But you know what? I get it, though.
I don't know what that fruit was. You know, tell me in the chats if you know. But they threw a fruit on it. And I mean, the swelling went down. It felt good. It felt cool.
It was probably just like any fruit. I'm thinking any fruit that's like wet and cold, like it'll pull that heat out.
Dude, I don't know what it was, but my dad was like, oh my gosh, okay. Like he literally cut a fruit open and just, and then he slapped it. And he's like, you need to hold this and you cannot take the pressure off. And I'm like 8 years old. And I'm like, am I going to die? Am I going to die? And he's like, I don't know. We'll see. And he was like,
That's traumatic.
He said that I said that in order for you to know how important it was for you to apply pressure.
I'm not going to lie to you. Like, you wouldn't have died, but like that could have really gotten infected.
I think it might have gotten infected. I don't know, man.
No, you would know.
Dude.
You would have a whole body like experience.
No,
it was probably
crazy.
just like crazy healing. Burns are awful. No, I think probably the worst burn I've ever had was when I grabbed the iron, because look, I learned at a really young age that fire's hot. I've gotten burned here and there since then, but never like to that degree of like a big bubble. I think everything else was just like I grabbed a curling iron one time and burnt my hand, or I was curling my hair and like rested my finger on it, or I was pulling cookies out of the oven and I bumped my wrist. I had a scar on my wrist for like 3 years because I like bumped the side of the oven.
Yeah.
I was like 12, 13. I think I was 13. But No, burns are awful. I had a firework burn my finger one time.
Yeah,
Ooh, that was hot.
I usually get burned every year from a firework.
I never felt heat like a firework heat, man.
Oh man, okay, let's get into another topic to not scare
Yeah,
everybody
this one,
from
like,
burns.
not only did everyone click off already, this made my stomach hurt.
Yeah, no,
and I'm talking about
that
it.
was a deep one, man. Let's see what other topics we got.
Oh man, well, it's me again. Okay, let's see.
It's me.
Are you on Pine Sol TikTok?
No, next.
You don't care about that?
No.
OMG, that's Pine. I cleaned so hard, all of my demons went away.
Next.
Oh my God, that's Pine Sol.
Double it. Give it to the next person.
Hey, I'll take it. I love some Pine Sol. Although it does make me nauseated because it reminds me of the Mart. Okay, well, my last, what they cleaned with.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'm not going to say that because they're not supposed to.
What?
So Walmart has their own set of chemicals that you're supposed to use, but like our janitor did not care, and she would just store use some Pine Sol and clean with that.
I got some Fabuloso and just threw it on the floor.
She literally, rest in peace. Actually, I could say that she passed away.
She passed away?
Yeah, rest in peace. She was cool, but she was kind of mean, man.
Did she go in glory though?
She had a lot of health issues.
Okay.
She took a sabbatical and never came back.
Mm.
But no, she was cool. She was real cool, but she was kind of mean. She be yelling at you, man. If she cleaning that bathroom, don't try to go. I don't care if you about to poop yourself. Go poop yourself outside because she's gonna be I'm scrubbing them toilets.
I appreciate the mean janitors.
Yeah, no,
I'll say that first.
But you know what? She had that bathroom clean.
Yeah.
Anyway, she was using Pine Sol.
Okay. Well, there you go. I don't want no nice janitors. I want some mean ones. The ones that tell people to like wash their hands properly.
The ones that are fed up.
Yeah, I kind of want those because I want my spaces to be clean, and they want those spaces to be clean. So I'm like, yeah.
It's true. They about their business.
Yeah,
I
no,
respect the hustle.
I'm cool.
I
with
always
that.
try to be real nice to everyone.
I guess.
No, I was about to say something real stupid. And I had to catch myself, be like, Catherine, don't say that.
Oh man.
You're gonna sound stupid.
What was it though?
No. I am trying to be nice to everyone. Anyways, my only last thing, and then you gotta come up with something because I just realized we're only 38 minutes in.
Let's go.
So the other day, me and Christian, we bought a seedless watermelon. And it was huge. Oh yeah, I'm cold.
Yeah,
Go ahead. I'm gonna still tell the story to you guys. Anyways, bought a seedless watermelon. That thing was huge. And so we cut it in half, stored half of it in the fridge, those half we didn't cut up, and then cut up the other half and ate it by the pool. No big deal. Delicious. Ate that thing down. Then, sorry, Christian's looking at the camera. It's distracting me. Then, we ate that thing down. Came time to cut up the other side. So then, like a day later, I pull out the other side. I start cutting it up. I cut it in half. There's a giant, hole in the middle of it. Randomly in the meat. And I'm like, well, what's going on with this? Is it rotten? It smells great. It feels great. It doesn't feel mushy. It doesn't smell rotten. I've cut rotten watermelons before. I know what they smell like. But it's just this random, lima bean shaped hole about this big just in there. And the flesh around it was like a pale color, but it wasn't too pale. So I was like, what's going on? So then I asked Christian, he's like, oh, that's okay. That happens all the time. Cause usually when I moved out, when I lived at home with my parents, I never cut a watermelon. My dad liked to cut them. So he cut them and I didn't question it. Well, when I moved out on my own, I just bought pre-cut watermelon because it's just me. I'm not going to body a whole watermelon.
A pre-cut watermelon, really?
Well, yeah, because I would only buy a few spears because realistically speaking, just me by myself could not eat an entire watermelon. That's just impossible. It would go bad. So I just wouldn't cut them. But then, we have friends over and, Christian be eating and then his brother was here. So we had a giant watermelon. And I'd never seen this before. But apparently it's really common. Because Christian was telling me, no, this happens all the time, it's fine. Well, me being me, I didn't believe him, so then I had to Google it, and Google's like, oh, this happens all the time, it's fine. Well, so I cut it up anyways, and I just throw away the part that's misshapen or whatever, but I just I don't know why, for some reason, that like triggered like an immense amount of anxiety.
Yeah.
I think it was like borderline, like I don't have trypophobia. I think it's trypophobia. Is that the fear of holes? But I don't have that. But I don't know if it just triggered like a piece of that in me that I didn't know I had or what. But I was freaking out, dude. I was bugging. I was trying not to show anyone because I was like, I don't want to get flamed for this because this is literally such a first world problem. Like, you're afraid of your food that's like perfectly edible. Like, you should eat it. But I was bugging, dude. So I was like laying in bed and I couldn't sleep. My stomach's hurting. I was nauseated. And I was like, I need to throw this food away. I need to throw it away. And then I was like having an internal battle with myself because I'm like, are you really going to be that person that wastes food? Like, there are people that can't eat and you're just wasting this food because you're afraid of it. Like, grow up. This is such a stupid problem. But then I was like, but what if it kills me and my family? I was bugging, bro. I was full on, like, I was like about to cry. Like, I was disturbed.
Sure.
This is so sad, but it's real. I'm being real. And so I was desperate. Google was not helping. Christian was done talking to me about it. It was like 1 a.m. Couldn't call my dad. I went to ChatGPT. I know last episode I was making fun of people that went to ChatGPT with their problems, but now
go for it.
You know what? I lived long enough to become the villain.
Okay.
I went to ChatGPT. I sent ChatGPT that picture that I reverse Google searched, and I said, "Chat, what's wrong with my watermelon?" Tells me the exact same thing Google tells me. So then I'm like, this doesn't do it for me. So I had to get emotionally vulnerable. I said, "Chat, I understand this watermelon is perfectly good to eat. However, I'm having an anxiety attack over this thing. What do I do? Because I don't want to waste this food, but I can't eat it. I'm about to throw up." And chat was so nice. I'm like, honestly, it reminded me that I might need to go back to therapy.
Okay.
Chat was like, it's totally like, first of all, heard me out. They're like, it's totally understandable that you're feeling anxiety. That's your brain's like, you know, the part that
Sure. Just
the part that reptiles don't have, the emotional part.
Okay.
Magnum angata or whatever.
The medulla oblongata.
Yeah, that's the part of the brain that the anxiety comes from.
Yeah.
They were like, that part of your brain is your emotive side of your brain. And your emotive side of your brain is trying to protect you because back whenever humans were in the wild, you know, like it resembles rotting fruit, but it's not rotting. So like your emotive part of your brain is trying to protect you from eating bad fruit. But the rational part of your brain knows that this fruit is not bad.
Yeah.
So you have to marry the two to have them in agreement. So what you can do is, first of all, recognize that this anxiety you feel is your brain trying to protect yourself from this thing.
Interesting.
So you have to tell yourself, like, I understand that my brain is trying to protect myself because I'm triggered right now, but this food is fine. And then they said, take a little piece of the watermelon and have a safe food with it. So like a cracker or like a piece of bread, and put it on the same plate, and maybe eat that piece of bread first and then try to venture over to the watermelon. And then, you know, like take a little piece of watermelon and just keep telling yourself this watermelon is food and it's good for you and it's not going to hurt you. We've gone through sight, taste, and smell and texture. Yeah. And all of it is saying that it's going to be good for you. So it's not rancid. You need to eat it. Okay. And just like coax yourself through it. And then they were like, but if you need to throw the watermelon away, it's totally fine because it's not worth having a panic attack over.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I just swallowed my own spit. So sorry. And you know what? That was enough to make me go to sleep.
Oh, well, that's good.
Did I eat the watermelon? I still haven't. But you know what? It was enough to make me go to bed.
No, I've been charging through that watermelon. No, I get that. I think there's something interesting about mind over matter because I don't think people realize that. And so this is something that kind of like messes with me. There is my thoughts, and then there is the chemistry that produces those thoughts that will try to guard me. So it's in the same way of like when I was... when I put that butter knife in the power socket.
Oh my God.
In the same way where I was grabbing on because that's my body's response to it. Right. Or I don't know if you remember when I burned my hand and because I put a non-microwave safe mug in the microwave and my body was holding on to the cup. It was to the mug. It's because it's my body trying to process what's going on. So it's an interesting thing when you have mind, when you have your thoughts, like, you hear me telling you the watermelon is safe. You read Google's that the watermelon is safe. Like, logically, it's making sense. However, there is this part of your brain where it doesn't communicate in the way that your mind communicates with your consciousness. It almost like it's something that's, I want to say, like, it just for a lack of better terms, it's a nonverbal. Even in your mind, it's nonverbal. And so I've always thought that was an interesting thing that we're able to do. It's like when you get adrenaline rushes and you're able to do things that you normally can't, or when you're running in the morning and you want to stop running, but you tell yourself, no, keep going, and then your mind just forgets that there's pain happening. And so, like, I've always felt like that part of your mind is such an interesting thing. So that's I like that ChatGPT was like, hey, here's like a practical step, like, eat something safe, and then eat the thing that you have a problem with. I think that's pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, I had to screenshot it because like it was really good. It was great. I had to look. I talk to chat like it's a person, but then I be treating it like my friends. I just don't respond after a while. I
Yeah.
just leave it alone. I literally had to be like, oh my god, chat, this actually helped me a lot. Like, thank you so much. Partially because their AI servers are like, oh, this was helpful,
Yeah.
and then they retain that information, and then they are continually learning how to communicate with you. So I partially did that so that it would keep being gentle with me.
Sure.
But also I really just needed to be like, wow, that actually really did help me. So I need to hand you your flowers, even though you're not conscious yet.
That's such a good practical thing, though, because I feel like if you do anything hard, but you have something that's familiar with whatever, like, the hard thing is, I feel like that's a very good way of like achieving tasks.
Yeah, well, I think when it, cause I'm no stranger to like pick yourself up by your bootstraps and do it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a stranger to that. But also, like, I think there are times where you need to give yourself a tough love because you shouldn't coddle yourself all the time
Sure.
because it's just not realistic. But I think in situations where there's like immense anxiety, like this is so stupid. This is such a first world problem. I was literally like about to throw up.
I don't know why you keep saying it's a first world problem, though, because it's not.
I just feel like it is because I feel like I don't want to sound stupid. I feel like if I'm hungry enough, I would eat that.
Well, you would eat an ant if you're hungry enough.
But in that moment, I was like, I don't care if this is the last thing I'll ever eat. I can't eat this. Because, like, I'll play that game with my head sometimes where, like, if I don't like something or if I think something's gross, but it's like prepared well, I just think it's gross. I will tell myself, like, if this is the last thing on earth, you're going to eat it. So you better eat it right now. Like, don't waste it. And, like, that's how I'd, like, condition myself to, like, eat stuff that's, like, gross. But, like, I paid for it and I don't want to,
Sure.
like, throw it away. But I literally was trying to do that just to shut my brain off and be like, well, Catherine, if it's the only thing in your fridge, you're going to eat it. And I was like, I would rather die. Like, I can't do it. So I just feel like that's such like a privileged mindset to be like, well, I have access to food. So, of course, like, I'm sitting here clutching my pearls over a misshapen watermelon. Like, that's such a privileged perspective.
But I wonder if a privileged problem is if it was an uncomfortability versus like discomfort versus, okay, like, this is actually affecting me. Like, so in the same way of, like, if your phone, oh, our cat's crying.
You good?
You good, Stormy? You having a first world problem?
I think she just woke up.
Okay. But in the same way where it's like, if you stopped having Wi-Fi for the day, that's like, it's uncomfortable, but you'll live,
Yeah.
I think this is something different. It's something that involves your brain. And so that's why I'm like, I don't think a first world problem is fair.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe I'm just being hard on myself. But I just think, like, in situations where, like, there's, like, anxiety,
Yeah.
Anxiety doesn't work with like just forcing yourself to do it.
Yeah.
Like you have to find a way to navigate it, because you're not going to forget
Mm-hmm.
you're anxious. Like when you're having an anxiety attack, you're not in the driver's seat anymore. Like
Yeah.
it's fully your fear that's in the driver's seat of your brain, your rationality, everything is just filtered through this lens of like, this food is going to kill me. It's going to kill me. Not even like make me sick.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to eat worms. Like that's literally all I could feel was like, I'm going to eat worms. And I was just so bothered by it. The fact that it was in my fridge was like freaking me out.
Yeah.
And it's like at that point, you just got to pick yourself up by your bootstraps and force yourself to eat this watermelon. Like I couldn't. So you kind of have to do the whole like safe food thing and remind yourself like to like coddle yourself in that moment and be like, hey, like it's okay. You're fine. Like this is what's happening. And I'm saying this to myself to remind my brain to like unite once again, to calm myself down.
Yeah.
So no, but ChatGPT, honestly, they got their money's worth with that one.
No, I mean, I think you kind of touched on something interesting when you were talking. I think I remember to this moment during COVID when there was a family member of mine that got very paranoid. And so it's not funny, but it's a little funny. They wrapped all the windows in aluminum foil. This is so happened.
I remember
They
this.
wrapped everything in aluminum foil.
I still have the photos.
Put blankets everywhere. I mean, they were going insane. And it was because the internet told them that on a specific date during COVID, that there was going to be a flash or something, and everyone who didn't cover their windows was going to die. And so this person's running around the house and just covering things up and like, and at first I was like messing with it because I was just like not taking it serious. So I started opening a window and they started screaming and crying like they're in tears. And so this is a real fear that they're having. And I mean, it started clicking in my head. I'm like, okay, we've been indoors for what? She just bit you?
She just bit me.
We've been indoors for what? At that time, 4 or 5 months. And no one's getting out of their house. No one's working. We're still not working. We're still like locked in. Everyone's freaking out. And so I had to put it in my mind, okay, this person's lost their mind. Like they've lost it.
They're stir crazy.
No, but in that way is like, I guess I was I didn't put it like this, but in my mind, I'm like, yeah, like you need time to get the real world and your world and marry them. Like there has to be this moment. I felt really bad afterwards because in the moment, I mean, I'm the worst person to have when someone's being ridiculous because I start roasting people. But I stopped because I was like, oh no, like we're losing our minds. Like we are losing.
She's not in the driver's seat anymore.
She was not in the driver's seat. Well, and it's sad because I do customer service for a nonprofit, and so I talk to people all the time who are not in the driver's seat. They are not like I have people calling me and they're like, yo, what do I do if I want to jump off a building? And I'm like, well, you don't do that. For starters, don't do that. But it's I mean, no one's called.
Call this hotline.
Yeah, actually, really. But in a big way, I really mean that. Where I think there's a problem when people are not aware of like, hey, like this person's not. They're not there. They're having a moment. And so, yeah, I've just been around a lot of people like that lately. That they're not in the driver's seat.
Yeah, you were around me.
We have some people that we were talking with. They were having they keep having, identity crisis, faith crisis. People when they go through like faith crisis, for example, and then they start talking to you and they want to get a specific reaction out of you.
Oh yeah.
And you at first would think like, I know we went through an extreme of like someone being like kind of neurotic or kind of crazy, or no, not crazy, but like kind of like, scary.
Just in an episode.
Yeah, they were having an episode, but even to a smaller degree, like I remember you were having this moment when somebody was trying to like, I don't want to know if pigeonhole is the right word, but like they're trying to corner you into the reason why you're going through this, the reason why everything's happening is because you need to do this. And I remember looking at you like I walked into this conversation, heard that part, and walked away because I was like, Catherine, she's a big girl. She'll take care of that. But when I heard that, I was like, dude, you're not in the driver's seat because you are trying to manipulate a conversation because you're going through an identity crisis. And that identity crisis has a problem when you see someone who's stable. And so I don't know. I guess I start thinking about people who get into these, like they're just not in the driver's seat at that point.
Well, I think like what I've learned throughout the years, because I used to be like really easily influenced by people in general.
Yeah.
But I think like what I've learned throughout the years is like there's certain verbiage that people say or the way they structure their sentences that it kind of, everyone has a tell of like what's in the driver's seat.
Sure.
But it's like depending on how they structure their sentences, you can pretty much boil it down to this person's unwell, they're not in the driver's seat. Or they're in the driver's seat, but they're jaded. Or, you know, like this is their pride talking right now. Or like this is their ego talking right now. Like I've gotten a lot better at like identifying what I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way of like they're not there. Because like this can happen to anyone. Like it's not always like, oh, they're possessed. Like sometimes it's like literally like this person's hurt in life right now. So they're speaking from the perspective of their ego, like being hurt.
Yeah.
And so it's like I've gotten really good at kind of filtering it through and not taking it personally, even though like some stuff I do still like take personally and internalize it. I'm like, what did they mean by this? But once you give me a tell of like, oh, you're not well, or like, oh, you want to push me down because your ego needs me to be beneath you because you're jealous of me, then I can rationalize like how I'm going to approach this conversation. Like what am I going to take from what you're saying? Because I still see you as an individual.
Yeah.
Because I can't see you for your current state. I have to see you as a whole, especially if I have a relationship with you.
Absolutely.
But it's like I have to then treat you with care because my relationship with you is going to extend further than this moment.
Wow.
But in this moment, I need to shut you up.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in a headspace right now where I can handle the mental jumping jacks you're trying to put me through. So I need to find a way to politely tell you to stop talking without impacting our current and future relationship. Or having a deeper conversation that I just didn't feel like having.
No, and I get that. I will also think with that specific situation, there was never going to be a deeper conversation where it doesn't end with them being like, you're just immature. So,
well, I think most of the time, because I'm speaking from the perspective of multiple conversations I've had in the past 2 weeks.
Okay, but talk about one where.
Well, they're all the same when it comes down to that.
I mean, not in the last 2 weeks, but like, do you have one where you actually fought back and actually like not one? I don't want to say winning is the right way, but like you got your point across, and even if that person, like no, like let's go all the way. You won that person over to your thinking. Were you ever able to do that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think about that sometimes because
I'm not a challenger by nature.
Gotcha.
Funny enough, some people disagree. I'm not a challenging individual.
Do you think your communication style isn't challenging?
No, I think I can be defensive.
Okay.
And I think when I'm on the defense, it comes off as challenging, especially if you're authority.
Sure.
But I think if I can find a way around the problem, I'm not going to challenge it. Unless the Holy Spirit is like, call this out. But then it has to be like second nature. I just said it and I don't even know why I said it.
Wow.
But usually, if it's a situation like that,
Yeah.
I'm like, this person's not in a headspace to receive this correction, and I don't want to get in an argument.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to not talk about it, and I'm going to pray for you, and then I'm going to over time slowly chip away at this idea or slowly chip away at this thing that's bothering you until you come to a place to ask me about it on your own. Because I'm not one to just like over insert myself like that. But not out of respect. Usually it's out of self-preservation because I don't want to get in an argument.
Which I don't think that's wrong either. I mean,
I think it's lazy sometimes.
I think it's lazy, but here's the thing. Do you owe it to everyone to challenge their opinion?
Oh yeah, no. That's true. I don't owe it to anyone really.
Cuz you know me.
You
know me. I will challenge you if you're right. Cuz I hate this about me. I'm the natural challenger. I will challenge the challenge.
See, but that's why I like you, because you'll challenge people, and so I don't have to.
I don't know if I agree with that. Like, not that that's not your intention, but I feel like you are able to talk to people in a way where they're able to receive it better than I am. So,
but you lay all the cards out on the table.
Yeah,
I don't lay anything out. I talk around it until you reveal yourself and you say it out loud, and then that brings self-awareness to you, because they're like, oh, well, I didn't even know I felt that way until I said it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I knew you felt this way for 3 months.
Wow.
But I've been chipping away at you.
Yeah. Well,
so mine is more maniacal. Mine is more like,
it makes me feel better because I always feel
like the long haul.
I always feel like a jerk when I do that.
But I feel like mine is received better because it's like them coming to their own terms.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think yours like is probably less manipulative by nature.
I think
because you're like, this is just what I see.
Well, I think I only call it out, and maybe I'm wrong. You can call me out on this one, but I think I will challenge you if I think you're trying to use authority over me.
Oh.
Because if you're not trying to use authority over me, you're just trying to have a conversation. Like when we talk with one of our friends, and they're like, Christian, I like this guy who is the worst person you've ever met, and you hate him. I've been quiet. I've genuinely was like, hey, bro, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I think I'll talk back when it's like, and anyone who disagrees with me is stupid, and then they start like, once
they're like trying to push you in a box.
Yeah, like I can't be cornered, and I hate this. This I really hate. I hate it when people make generalizations. So if I'm right, everyone else is wrong, or everyone else is stupid, or anyone who disagrees with this is clearly a narcissist. Like, especially when you use buzzwords like narcissists, like I get very triggered. I get upset. That's a narcissist in me, but I get very upset. So I wonder if, like, I always just ask myself, like, why am I challenging? So when I heard you in that specific situation where someone's trying to use that kind of trapping language with you and be like, no, this is happening to you because of this, because you need to do this, this, this. And you're like, I don't need to do that at all. And they were just like glazing past your objections. They're glazing past everything else. They were just like, no, Catherine, you need to do this. I always think to myself, like, if I was in that conversation, I would have been like, who are you?
And then there's me, and I'm like, yeah, well, I just disagree. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna walk away now, because like I think in those scenarios, I don't like when people try to like assert their authority over me.
Sure.
Because I feel like that's happened to me like most of my life, where people just like disregard my humanity, or like completely underestimate the fact that like, despite how goofy I am, like I actually have thoughts. Like, I'm actually kind of smart sometimes. I just don't present that way for whatever reason. So then people who are like intellectually driven like try to like silence me all the time. And most of the time, you know, I'm not insecure, so I don't really care. So I'm kind of just like, you know what? You need to feel this way because all of your self-esteem comes from your intellect, and my self-esteem comes from the fact that I think I'm really funny. So this will hurt you way more than it hurts me if I combat you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it does bother me and it does like hurt my feelings.
Sure.
So I've in the past I just let them do it because I thought like, oh, it's okay, I can take it. But then I think like as I got older, I realized just because I can take it doesn't mean I should.
Sure.
Like, you know, just because, you know, getting smacked in the face won't kill me, like it still hurts and I still have the right to tell you to stop.
Yeah.
And so now I think I don't challenge it to try to like prove something because I think it just proves them right because they're just going to beat me down to their level and then beat me at their own game because they live in Stupid Town. So they're going to take me to Stupid Town and then show me around. And I'm like, I'd rather just not go through that. So I just like try to find a way to end it because I'm like, you're not worth my energy and you're not going to change your perspective of me. So it's better to just not argue anymore. And I don't have to hear you out, so I'm not going to.
Yeah.
So I've been working on how to do that.
Yeah. I feel that. I think I've only ever fought people.
It must be nice.
No, what did I say earlier? I'm the opposite of you, but not in a good way.
We get triggered by the same things, but we have different reactions.
No, I mean that's.
And this is like most of our lives. Like the same things bother us. Even about each other. Yeah,
absolutely.
But we just have different, we just handle situations differently.
Yeah, so I've always been a challenger. But no, but I mean, I know exactly what you mean when you say you felt this way. I just responded a different way. Like most of my life, people have been always trying to tell me what to do. And I've always been a challenger. Like I've always been like, hey, like that's stupid or something. And so I think it's interesting when I think now that I'm 26, because I'll sometimes do this. I don't know if you do this in your mind. I need to stop doing this, but I'll be like, I'm not 16 anymore. I'm not 16 anymore because I'll think of like, well, when I was 16, I would have cussed them out or I would have done this or you know what I would have done? I would have done this, that, and the third. And I'm like, I'm 26. I can't do that. So I've been in conversations with people where I'm like, wow, you're over 40 and you're talking to me this way. And man, don't I want to just tell you off. Like,
no, I thought you were going to be like, you're over 40 and you're acting how I would at 16.
No.
And that was my deep sigh. Because that's one thing.
That's another way of putting it that hits me.
Look, I try so hard. I try so hard to filter everyone through grace. I really do. I know
feel that,
some people may disagree with me because they're like, oh, like you're feisty. It's in my head merciful that I'm feisty with you because at least you know where you stand with me. At least I'm honest.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be feisty and walk away and we're going to be good. But some people aren't. They're all nice and everyone loves them. They're awful people on the inside.
Absolutely.
Because they harbor it all.
Yeah.
So that's me being gracious with you. Besides the point. Because I'm giving you an opportunity to repent.
Yeah.
And then I really will forgive you. I don't care. But no, I try to filter everyone through grace, compassion, empathy if I can. Like, let me try to, you know, look, what they said was really stupid, but I'm not going to internalize that because, you know, I'd be saying some stupid stuff. But when someone who is over childbearing age acts like I did at 16.
Yeah.
Oh, it just sets me off.
Yeah.
I get so triggered because I'm like, how were you allowed to get this far and I wasn't? Why was I forced through all of that character development and you didn't go through it? You stayed the same. This is not fair. And then I'm like, how at your big age did you survive this far? Because I was an idiot. Thank God I had to go through the character development. But also, why didn't you?
Because once they had their first consequence for it, they realized that the worst you can get is for someone to get mad at you.
And then they just stopped caring.
Then they were numb. I learned this a lot. I learned this, I want to say a few months ago, that the reason you've been able to coast through life being this way is because you maybe at some point lashed out. You could have been in the right. Like genuinely, you could have completely been in the right, but because you received that consequence and you were like, what's this consequence? And now everything since then, as long as you're not in jail, is not a big deal. And there's no real world consequence. I saw a TikTok saying maturing is realizing that there are no consequences on talking back. And one, I don't know if that's fully true, because where I'm from, bro, they'll
You talk back to the wrong
dude,
person,
you talk
you're
back
gonna
to
get hit.
You're gonna get shot, dude. And
Yeah.
so point of privilege one there. But second thing, I mean, depending on how you're able to receive the consequence, because there are people that they're like, I can get chewed out, I can get yelled at. They're just never gonna talk to me again. Oh, they're gonna get physical. There's a cop here. Oh, they're gonna do this. Well, I can sue them. Like those type of people, they coast through life because they've realized that consequences is something they can afford. Like it's a real thing. That's why I tell you, like at your big age of 45, 46 years old, talking to me that way, like I'm not really offended. I'm kind of impressed. Like,
see, I get offended.
Like
that bothers me.
That's kind of amazing.
I'm like, you don't look yourself in the mirror at night
No,
and think, wow,
absolutely
I'm
not.
a piece of crap.
No, they don't, because it's ingrained.
That's so
to them.
shocking.
It's ingrained to them, and I come at this with the side of like, this is terrible, but this is also there's the empathy I do feel for that, because they do go to bed at night being like, dang, that happened. And I really do believe this, that once there's a numbness to outer consequences, there's going to be an over examination of inner consequences. So you're going to, at some point, you start burning yourself now. And I'm not going to say it always goes down the deep end, but a lot of people, and you've seen this a lot, that there is like people, even in our lives, that aren't good people. They make terrible decisions. They're horrible to their friends. They are abusive, and they're all these things that are bad, but they're human beings. And funny enough, they love Jesus. And so they go to bed, and you can see the EDs, and you can see the hurt, and you see why they come to work then, or church, or whatever it is the next day, and they're wearing like long sleeves, and it's like 102 degrees outside. Like you see why. Like you start understanding, oh, like you have inner turmoil. Like it's on the inside. Like the concept, you've been so numb from the real world, trying to hold you accountable. Now you're holding yourself accountable, and it's so bad because you were never able to receive outer criticism, and it's a sad thing. It's really kind of scary. I'm afraid of getting there, actually.
Well, I think at the end of the day, it's just like, it's one of those things. What am I trying to say? I started talking and I didn't have a goal.
I like that.
I think it's one of those things that you can, at the end of the day,
say it like a TikTok influencer.
You ever had when a dream, that's literally how I feel right now. Like, why am I thinking in word salad? Point of what I'm trying to say, I don't know how to start the sentence, is a good way to combat that, or what I do in my own life to combat that, because I think there are moments in all of our lives, good people and bad people. There are bad people in the world, but there are also good people in the world.
Yeah.
There are good Christians, there are bad Christians, because all Christians are people. I think a good way to combat having your heart hardened to like the parts of you that need to change, or like the immaturities and insecurities, is genuinely like going back to the Bible and like praying, like, search me, and take out anything that is unclean and not of you. And I think like one of the most dangerous things you can do as a believer is to live your life not in submission to God, because you're wearing God everywhere because you're loud about your beliefs.
Yeah.
But you're quiet to your shortcomings. And that is so dangerous because you, first of all, are hurting yourself because you live life with consequences, even if you're okay with them.
Yeah.
But you front those consequences to the people around you, and the people around you suffer. And I guarantee you, there's not a single Christian out there that is an all Christian circle. There is some non-believer or some impressionable kid that maybe is a Christian, maybe isn't, but there's someone impressionable in your life. And if you're wearing Jesus's face and you're just hitting him, that consequence is on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
The inner turmoil in their soul is on your hands. So you need to make it doesn't matter. Look, you don't have to apologize. That controversial take. You don't have to call up every single person you've hurt and apologize, because quite frankly, I would be exhausted if I did that. But I can make right with the people I can.
Yeah.
Some people I just got to let them go and hope they forgive me, or they call me so I can give me an opportunity to ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you need to make yourself right with God. You need to go to your quiet room. You need to look yourself in the mirror. You need to take off your makeup and really look at yourself and say, this is what I look like. This is how I act. God, you either need to fix me or put it on my heart to change, because I can't be walking around asserting myself over people. I can't be walking around gossiping. I can't be walking around doing all this nonsense, because it's damaging the church.
Yeah.
At the very least, damaging others. You don't care about yourself, that's fine. A lot of people don't love themselves. That's why they're okay with being a bad person, because they're like, I hate myself anyways.
That's real. Yeah.
But you should care about others, at least. Or vice versa. You're a narcissist. Don't care about others. Do it for yourself. Become a better person for you. Become a better person for whatever pushes you or moves you in life.
I think the problem with specifically with the Christians is that Christian makeup, though, because I don't want to come across as a hypocrite when I say this. Of course, I have a Christian makeup face.
Oh, absolutely.
I definitely go to
Everyone
church.
does.
We're going to church tomorrow. I'm not going to pull
put
up.
that makeup on.
Listen, contrary to what people believe, because people don't believe me when I say this, I have a filter. I genuinely have a face. Like I do. I'm a liar if I tell you that it doesn't affect me when I say something stupid or do something stupid or act a type of way that doesn't represent God well in front of other Christians. If I'm being honest, like that's just how I feel. And so when I come home and take that off, it's really hard. Like even if it's light, because a lot of my friends will be like, you have no filter. You're just the same person at home at church. I'm like, that's really not true. But when I get home, like makeup wise, so to speak, even if it's just, eyeliner, even if it's just lipstick, even if it's whatever it is, the minute it comes off, dude, it's so harsh. It's harsh looking at the mirror. Like I think a lot of Christians, they genuinely suffer because they've never taken it off even at home. I can't tell you how many friends I have. The reasons they're going into faith crisis is because they can never stop talking Christian, acting Christian, or thinking Christian. So they'll come
like fake Christian.
I don't want to say fake Christian, because there is a time and place to be like, God is so good. Like there genuinely is a time, like, and you know this more than anyone, that I'll be in the car and So Will I will come up. And listen, the minute So Will I hits up, bro, I start flooding in tears.
I'm so glad you're in your So Will I era.
I love I've always been. That's such a beautiful song. But bro, like I don't listen to So Will I all day. I'm stuck on rap. Like I'm stuck on alternative music. I'm stuck on music. Like I'm not just watching Christian preachings all day. I love Chad Veach. I love Judah Smith. Bro, I watch Netflix. I get on HBO Max. Like I'm going to watch Superman next week. Like I have a life outside of this. And the thing is that I can either be a Christian on my heart, and when I go to the movies and when I go to a restaurant, when I go to coffee shops, I can just be a Christian and not have that Christian makeup on. Or I can not have a Christian heart, and if I say the right things, if I look a certain part, if I act this Christian way, it's going to be all performative, and it's not going to be authentic to me. And so I think that's why when I say like a lot of Christians, they come home they don't take the makeup off because they've realized that they've made their whole belief the performance. They've made their whole belief the makeup.
I just think of like, oh, you're either gonna catch it or you're not. I don't want to sound stupid when I say this, but this is something I do. I'm kind of weird. So like,
I'm excited.
You know, like when you look in the mirror, you like suck in and twist to like look skinnier.
Absolutely. Say it.
You keep doing it. You like convince yourself you're that size, you know? But it's like you're not living life sucked in and twisted. Everyone sees you.
Yeah.
In shrimp pose all day.
Shrimp pose.
Back hunched over, gut out, like walking around like a gremlin.
Yeah, yeah.
You need to be real with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You need to take the sweatpants off, look in the mirror, and stick out because that's how you look all day. And you need to be okay with that. It's not in a sense to like bully yourself, like, oh, I hate myself, but like, this is me and I cannot escape this.
Yeah.
When you do that, it pushes you to change. Because most of the time, unless you're a gym rat, even then, sometimes, you know, it's a different problem. You don't like what you see. You're like, dang, I can see those 3 bowls of cereal. Maybe that wasn't good for me.
Wait, 3 bowls of cereal?
No, nothing
crazy.
will sober you up more than looking at a serving size of cereal. You ever looked on the box?
I'm terrified of it.
You ever looked on the box to see what a serving size of cereal is?
It's like 2/4.
It's like half a cup.
Half a cup, yeah.
So that's 3 bites. Babes, you had 6 servings of cereal, and it shows.
In one bowl.
If you're my dad, you're pouring it in the butter container.
No, I think.
But anyways, back to my point.
That's so good.
You can't suck in and turn to God.
Yeah.
God sees you. You can gaslight yourself and you can gaslight others for a short period of time, but most of the time people can kind of see through that after a while.
Absolutely.
Just in the same way you can suck in for the first half of the day, but you're going to end up eating a Big Mac the second half, and then you're going to be sticking out because you're bloated. Hi, talking about myself.
Yeah.
I don't eat Big Macs, but I do be eating chicken nuggets. Clearly. That's why the Pilates isn't working. But you can't gaslight God, because at the end of the day, in the same way, you know, you go home to your husband, you're going to have to take your makeup off. You're going to have to take them jeans off. You're going to have to get in a big t-shirt and look like Adam Sandler. Like, and and they have to be okay with that. So you have to be okay with that. In the same way, you got to bring your Adam Sandler to God.
Bring your Adam Sandler to God. That's the title. No, Kathy.
Am I making sense?
No, listen, and to put a biblical context on this, I mean, Genesis.
Gotta bring in the Bible with Adam Sandler.
No, but like, let's bring it in there. Adam
Sandler.
Adam Sandler's in Genesis 1, I think 1:6 or 1:7. They get kicked out. No, before they get kicked out, right? Notice, they ate the apple and didn't die immediately. They ate the apple and didn't get kicked out immediately. They ate the apple and they hid. And I think, like, I'm not trying to be a theologian. I'm not a theologian. But I'm reading this in the context.
There's a lot of people that would come up to you and say, no, you're not.
And I would agree humbly. But when I read that, it hits me with like, oh, we all do this. We'll cue in the altar call music. We all.
That's the pad.
But we all do that. All of us. Like, I don't know anyone that doesn't do this, because if you didn't, you'd walk outside naked all day. But which, jeez,
no one wants to see that.
Nobody wants to see that. But the best part of God is that God sees your heart, and not just the good parts. God sees the mess. God sees the parts in my mind where I'm cussing someone out to their face in my mind, but I can't say it because I'll get fired, or not just fired. I'll probably get. I'll get a powwow.
In traffic, you'll get shot.
In traffic in Houston, you'll get shot. You'll get ran over. But I think it's a beautiful thing that God is able to be like, you don't have to hide. Like, there's no point anymore. And it's really, the reason Adam and Eve were hiding is because they weren't covered the minute that they failed God. But the best part of Jesus is that we can fail God and be covered. And I think that's all the more reason to be your Adam Sandler self, you know? All the more.
Bring your Adam Sandler to God.
Bring your Adam Sandler to God. Let's go
At
ahead.
the very least, buy a full-length mirror and just really look at yourself.
Like-
Really look at yourself.
What's a practical way to do that with your heart? Write down your thoughts. Just genuinely get on your notes app and write down the toxic thoughts.
Or, I mean, even if you don't want to write them down, just as you're thinking, think about what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Why did I totally tear that girl's character apart in my head? Oh, it's because she's pretty and I'm insecure.
I got one. Why did I insult that girl that I liked after she rejected me? It's because I have a fear of rejection.
Why did I assume that person would be rude to me before I even gave them a chance to prove me wrong?
Wow.
Because I'm intimidated. I'm insecure.
It's a good thing before you repent and before you go through the cycles of whether it's guilt, shame, whatever you do in your mind. Just analyze it. It's like, oh, I just did that. Like, believe me, God will give you time to repent. God's good. But I promise you, you might get a little less guilty. You might feel a little less shameful. And you might get more embracing of, one, forgiveness, but two, the ability to change, because now you're aware that you did that and you can just not do that next time.
Look, once you make peace with yourself and not being numb, because like being at peace and sweeping under the rug are two different things.
Ooh.
Once you're at peace with who you are, it takes the polarization away from it. Like, if you say it out loud, see how it feels. It doesn't feel as bad. It doesn't hurt as much. You can then be happy and then change, because it breeds confidence, because it's no longer I'm avoiding it. You can't outrun yourself. You follow you everywhere. And guess what? You're running from it. You're being you to the people around you.
Yeah.
And if you think you're tired, the people around you are tired times 3.
Absolutely.
You think you're tired, you keep yourself alive. The people around you have to be in your life.
Yeah. That's so good.
Make peace with yourself. You deserve it.
Bring your Adam Sandler to God. And
Bring it to the mirror.
Try to marry your thoughts with the real world and make peace with that. This was such a good one.
This was so deep.
I love it.
I wasn't even trying to go there. I was just trying to talk about my watermelon.
But what better than like episode 10?
Episode 10.
Episode 10.
We brought you to therapy for free. Now repay us by giving a thumbs up and a comment down below. I don't care if it's a hate comment. I do care if you give me a thumbs down though. So if you want to give me a little something, give us a comment, give us a like, give us a follow, send me some money.
You know what?
Kidding.
I'm gonna go deeper. Send me a car.
No, we have to pay tax on that. Do not send us a car.
Okay, no car.
We cannot afford the tax on a car.
All right, but that was really good.
Or pay the tax and then give it to us, Oprah, if you're listening, you're not. Call me.
She had to fire her healer because he was out here diddling.
Yeah, because
Oprah, I can be a healer, but
I almost said something crazy.
Listen, unfortunately, I'm not a shaman. And I won't go to that kind of witchcraft practice. But I'm always down to get a free check,
But if
baby.
you're down to find your Adam Sandler, your inner Adam Sandler, give us a call and we will give you a full-length mirror to borrow. We only have one.
And a 2XL shirt.
And we'll tell you to stick out.
Okay. Have a good one, guys.
Bye, y'all. We'll see if we're back. We might not be.
We'll probably be.
Adam Sandler might sue us and we might have to stop this.
All right. See you guys later.